Go ahead. Turn it up. It's the Record Machine Show with your host, Jimmy Howe.
I know a girl, she don't belong anywhere in this world. She's a stranger to herself. Well, maybe she's right. I don't know really how it feels to live with these scars that never heal. All this time it seems a waste, and all that sweet is lost its taste. As it pushes me away, I can't follow you. There's a song that reminds me of her every time it's on, and all the good times that have come and gone. So hard I've tried to cut you out by design. Your broken heart just broke mine. All this time it seems a waste, and all that sweet is lost its taste. As it pushes me away, I can't fall through. If you want to hide, I can empathize. If you want to fight, I am on your side. If you want to cry, I know a girl, she don't belong anywhere. All of this time it seems a waste, and all that sweet has lost its taste. And you're pushing me away, I can't fall through. And all this time has gone to waste, and all that sweet has lost its taste. Now you're pushing me away, you keep pushing me away. I can't fall through, I don't fall through.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Raised by Clowns, guitarist, songwriter, Thomas Gallagher. Hey Thomas, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you today?
Doing good. You're in California, right?
I am in California, Los Angeles.
Awesome. Is that where you're from originally, or?
Yes, it is. Yep. Grew up on the west side, so in Brentwood, just right next to Santa Monica.
Uh-huh.
So kind of a beach kid, and grew up surfing, skateboarding, playing guitar. Good LA lifestyle growing up in the 80s.
Awesome. How's the weather there today?
It couldn't be better, actually. You know, beautiful blue skies. Really, the Pacific Ocean right now is really warm for our coast. So weather's beautiful. I'm actually in the San Fernando Valley, where a lot of musicians actually live in LA. So it gets super hot here, almost like desert hot. So when it gets this hot, we all escape to the other side of the Santa Monica Mountains and get to the coast, and it's 20 degrees cooler. So that's the plan probably today, a little later.
Awesome. I'm in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's pretty warm here, too.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. Yeah, I've never been there, but I understand it's a beautiful part of our country.
Sure is. So tell me, what inspired you to start playing and making music?
Well, that's I have three older sisters, and they were all popular girls and, into music, and they would come home with great records. So when I was 10 years old, I remember my older sister Kathleen brought home Led Zeppelin 2, and I heard Whole Lot of Love, and the skies parted right there. So just the energy that I felt from that song, just for whatever reason I was driven to play guitar. That the moment was kind of christened right there. There was no musicians in my family; we're all artistic, but I was the first one to decide to play music. But the Elton John, the Eagles, the Cars, those were all not the Cars. I'm sorry, that was a little later on. Elton John and the Eagles and Neil Diamond were some of the records my parents had growing up that I would see laying around. But by 10 years old, it was Cheap Trick, Led Zeppelin, and it was all rock and roll and heavy metal guitar from then on for a while.
Awesome. Now, would you say the bands and artists you mentioned heavily influenced you to want to play music?
Well, for sure Led Zeppelin and Cheap Trick, those were the pop rock with edge kind of material that definitely inspired me to play music. The Elton John and the Eagles, I really see that kind of in my songwriting now as an older guy. I never would have given those type of nods as an influence earlier on in my playing. But I guess just life to be in the full circle, you're like, oh, okay, now I don't know. I enjoy getting older in that sense that my ears really open up more to stuff like the Bee Gees and Michael Jackson, which, maybe when I was a younger kid, young whippersnapper, I was too cool for school to really, admit how good that sounds. But as your ears start to get a little more refined, that music was just crisp, poppy, great lyrics, etc. I'm sure I'm getting off topic, but so just everything you listen to becomes an influence, I think. And sometimes what I listen to is not what my playing, what our writing is going to sound like, necessarily what we output.
Yeah. So who are you listening to today?
Well, my wife has great taste in music, and she encourages me to keep listening to music because I get into writing mode where I'm only listening to my own stuff, which is not a great habit. And I'm really enjoying Zach Bryan and some kind of like top 40 country stuff right now.
Nice.
And Chris Stapleton. We saw Chris Stapleton recently at the Hollywood Bowl. He was
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. The combination there of the songwriting with, I didn't realize what a guitar god kind of he is. He had beautiful vintage guitars, and every song had a different tone going. It was just really a special night. So, I would say country, the lyrics, they really kind of up the game with lyrics in some cases, but always looking for the next one. So, yeah, Zach Bryan and Chris Stapleton, the two guys I'm drilling down on at the moment.
Nice. Tell me about Raised by Clowns. Is this a solo project or a band that you're putting together?
Yeah, so it might be a band I'm putting together. It was, I started it's kind of, it was really just a studio project. I wrote these songs, if anything, maybe with the intention of getting them licensed on a TV show or film. Never really with the intention of going out there and performing these songs. I wrote all the songs just on an acoustic guitar, and it was kind of like during COVID-19 lockdown, I started penning some of these lyrics. And, it's quite honestly, my sister passed away during COVID, not from COVID, but other complications. And
wow,
I just started writing these songs. Yeah, thank you so much. And she would have loved the record. So this record is dedicated to her. But just sort of, I sort of got carried away with it. A couple of songs that were written on acoustic became like, all right, well, I'm on a roll here. Let's finish writing the songs. And then, unfortunately, I'm not the type to just throw them down in a weekend and, get them on tape and put them up on Spotify. The production, I get a little carried away with the production. So, I spent a good couple of years recording them all and producing them all at home. And I just didn't know really what to expect with the songs. They're really just a pet project. I wrote the songs for me, so to speak, me and my sister maybe, but they're getting a really good response, and I would love to play them live. So, music just, I keep trying to put it down, and it keeps knocking back on my door. So people seem to be enjoying it, and it would be fun to go put it together. So it's really just a matter of me now going out and finding the players to perform with. and of course finding the time to do so.
Right. The name Raised by Clowns, how did you arrive at that?
Well, exactly as it sounds. I was at dinner with actually the man that was the best man of my wedding, Mick, and we were just enjoying dinner, and they meant, I don't know how it came up, but they mentioned they had a good friend whose parents were in fact two professional clowns, and it just hit me like a 2x4 over the head right there. I knew that's the band name right there. So they were responsible for introducing me to my wife, Nick and Kimmy, and now they're responsible for the band name as well.
Nice. Very cool story. This podcast will feature two of your tracks, I Know a Girl and Breaking Down. What's the story behind the songs?
Well, so I Know a Girl, the hook line on that one is actually, I can't fault you. So that was the working title for a long time. And then as the record, the songs, there is a collection of 12 songs. I'm just choosing to release them individually. But so they all started to kind of sound, a cohesive theme in the lyrics. So I decided to go with the very first line of the song, which is I Know a Girl. And, every song on there too, they're written about an ex-girlfriend or my sister, and those lines just become a little blurry and stuff. And, hey man, it's like we're all looking for a little comfort in life, and the straightest line to be the best, put our selves to the best purpose. And, some of us have sketchier lines to walk than others. And I watched my sister struggle a lot, and, we all have loved ones we watch struggle. Mm-hmm. So I would say I Know a Girl, and, I Know a Girl is loosely based about my sister, but Breaking Down, boy, if you listen to that lyric, that really is about the failure of my family, not my family, I would say myself, and how I dealt with the loss of it's a deep subject, but, if you see someone that you love struggling, sometimes it's hard to know whether tough love is the right answer, mm-hmm. or just to coddle them and protect them. So, I chose the tough love route in most cases. With my sisters, that was my policy, and and it's a roll of the dice, so to speak. You wish you had more cherished moments with them, but it's a no-win situation. And that song is, instead of a lot of songs are the perspective of person struggling. In this case, this is the perspective of how the people that love that person deal with the struggle, I suppose, and maybe the failures. In hindsight, wow, that's a mouthful.
Gotcha.
But
great song. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was happy with that one, how it turned out, and that Breaking Down had about 3 different versions. The version before, meaning it was like a dance song almost that I released. Yeah, I just didn't know which way to go with it, and so yeah, it had. I think it was country, and then dance, and then whatever it is now.
Very cool. How do you approach songwriting? What's your creative process like?
Yeah, so every song thus far, and I should probably start writing songs more on electric guitar, quite honestly, more riff oriented, or I'd like to maybe for the next record. But all those songs were just written on acoustic guitar. I tend to write my verses first. I will just pick up the guitar and I can write a verse. You could drop a hat and say, Thomas, write me a cool verse. And I can usually do that pretty quick. Choruses always come later, but the lyric always is something I mumble. It's never something like, oh, I can't wait to get, very rarely is it something like, I can't wait to get home and write about this or write about that. Mm-hmm. I wish it was that good or whatever, maybe, or that inspired sometimes, but usually, it's a guitar, just a guitar progression that inspires a cool kind of rhythmic lyric. And then the lyric always is the very last piece. It's like, okay, that word, I learned something cool from Rick Rubin, a video I watched from him, that very often it's not really the lyric or the story, but really more about the word, where it falls, in the rhythm, the pentameter, or, it's got to be the right word and the right punchy spot, and so I find where that cool little spot is for that word. And then you sort of, I don't know, it is a definitely stream of conscious moment. And then you find something that resonates with you, and then I run with it. So, it's sometimes a little scary in the sense I don't know where that next song's coming from, because I really don't tend to like go have some experience in real life and come home and write about it. I'm pulling from pretty deep past experiences, I guess, with most material.
Right.
So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, how would you describe the music you typically create?
It's very organic. It's kind of old school. I'm not a big programming guy with, so it's not real contemporary in that regard. So I would say it's a little bit nostalgic, but it's playful. It's dark, but I want you to feel good after you listen to my song. I don't want you to feel depressed, So
Right.
I want you driving down the beach with wind in your hair, and we've all dealt with pain, and we all want to feel a little bit better by hearing a good song. So it's one of the influences I didn't mention is Cage the Elephant. I would say they're probably one of my big. I would attribute my sound probably to them. I'm a little less synthy and hip, slick, and cool, I would say, but so again, dark, moody, a lot of textures, deep lyric, but energetic. Want you to feel good.
Right. Cool stuff. I'm always on Instagram. That's how I recruit guests for my show. And when I saw the ad, I was like, wow, this guy's cool. I got to reach out to him and see if he'll be interested in coming on. And I'm glad you did.
That's so nice of you, James. I was so honored, and like the people reaching out, it's beyond my expectations. You put a song on Spotify, and it's kind of like a piece of sand on the beach. You hope somebody walks on it. It's a real vast thing out there, and I'm not very much of a prolific Instagram guy, but kind of learned what I needed to learn really quick, and now I'm starting to meet interesting people like yourself, and this great opportunity to be on your show. So. It's been fun, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad you like the songs. For most of all. Yeah,
they're great, and let's talk about singles. How do you view the trend of releasing more singles or EPs as opposed to releasing a full-length album? And do you plan on releasing a full-length album, and if so, when?
Great question. Wow. This, like I said, I Know Girl was written as a 12-song record, and had I done it all, well, like I said, I got carried away. I wanted to write. It's an awesome thing to be able to say I wrote this whole package, and this is a thing I could print to vinyl, and it's great. It's got artwork. But as I was finishing wrapping up the whole project and starting to read about the best way to market and promote, etc., that's where I stumbled upon article after article that says, do not hit them with everything at once as a new artist. You got to drop singles, just like in any sales game. You want to have as many opportunities to touch the customer, so to speak, or to reach out to your audience,
right? Which
makes great sense. And, unfortunately, the attention span thing is real these days, as we all know, where, most people will listen to one song and not, even if they love that song, they're typically not going to just go right to the artist, follow artist, and start listening to that artist catalog right down the line. At least I don't as a listener. I will eventually get to that artist's catalog, but Spotify is pretty good about just playing the next good song, etc. So I'm finding that in my metrics that most people are just hitting the one song, moving on, but then I think it's effective in that regard because if I was to hit you with my whole record, James, and I don't hear from you, I don't know if you listened to one song or you listened to all 12 or you made it through 4. So I do like the singles approach. However, the flip side is that people don't know where to find, it is a little confusing on all the platforms and knowing like, well, where's that song, Thomas? That one's buried in that EP. And I did release the first 3 songs as a mini EP. So there's first 3 songs on that first drop, and those get buried. Anyways, I'm getting a little off topic, but no, I will not. Here's the other, I guess probably I should have just led with this, and that the problem with doing a record is, it takes a long time. So by the time it finally gets to your ears, James, those songs aren't as meaningful to me as they were when I wrote them.
Okay.
Some of them are 3 years old. And now I know like the audience is really responding to this song or that song. And so now I'm inspired to just get back to writing and get you the next big song. So I would, that's my that's my inspiration now, is to just get you guys the next song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still have songs to release that go all through November, and then I'm out of songs, so to speak. So by then, I hope to just have a couple new singles to keep releasing. Doing a record, I think, is a luxury, and if I had all the time in the world or a budget, it would be great to do. But I would want to do it with the full band this time. I would not go back and do it the same way as a one-man operation.
Gotcha. So what's next for you? You said some singles. What about a video or maybe even some shows, perhaps? Anything like that coming up?
Yeah. So it's yes and no. It's been just a matter of catch up for me and promotion, getting the promotion machine up and running. So I am actively looking and speaking with people right now about doing a showcase for the record and just playing some local clubs. That's really going to be the focus. You can't, getting the stuff on Spotify is great, but now my attention needs to go elsewhere. You can't get noticed so much on Spotify. I think you need to get noticed elsewhere, and then Spotify will follow. I'm not sure where I'm fixated on Spotify, except for that's where people most seem to be discovering Raised by Clowns. Yeah, so submitting to, I really would love to see some of these songs, get on a show on Netflix or, that's really where I see my music living. And
nice.
As they say, TV is the new radio these days. And I would love for this to become a band thing, and we go play some shows, start in California, maybe do some, interstate shows, playing, performing, etc. But there's a chance this thing never leaves the studio, so to speak, and I just get it on some film and TV. I do have some background historically with stuff on TV and film, nothing ever with lyrics. All my stuff that I did place was always instrumental, so this will be my first attempt, or so to speak, first time submitting songs that actually would have lyrics, and so we'll see how that goes. But it's always about getting back and playing live if you can. It's just, it was hard when you're a young man to get bands together, and as you get older, it's just life gets more and more intricate. But God willing, I'll keep playing these things, and Hollywood's right down the street from me, so there's plenty of clubs to play here.
Now, have you reached out to anybody as far as recruiting band members for this project?
Yeah, well, I have, but the thing is, James, that's not me singing. A lot of people think that maybe that's my vocal, but that vocalist, who's also named Thomas Penninger, he lives in Austria, and I'm in California, so he is not really available to me to play shows. So I have band members here in town that I can put a band together immediately, but really my first attack here is finding a singer that I can really gel with that sounds like my singer on the record, and or close enough, and and so once he and I kind of work out, I'll do the harmonies and the background vocals, and really that's got to happen first, and then it's almost plug and play with some of these local guys I've played with before in town. I don't know if that would be the permanent band or not. It's there's so many musicians here in the Valley that there's a lot of open mics, so it's really easy to kind of, if you got your vocals and your lyrics together and the chord chart, can travel, will play. So, but there's some guys specifically I would love to have play with me, but I just, it's a matter of me again, finding a singer. That's going to be the front man is the key part. And, at the end of the day, I am probably going to be fronting my own band, and performing this material myself. So whether or not I go, the fact that I don't sing makes this all kind of complicated, quite honestly. It makes it hard to market it. And that's hence, me really just promoting artwork, with these songs. It's like there's no band to photograph. It's just me, and I'm really just, I'm the songwriter and I produced this, but, being that that just makes it an art project rather than a band.
Now, do you play all the instruments on the album, or those songs, I should say?
Yeah, I do all the guitars. I do some of the bass guitars, but the drums are all programmed drums. There's not a real drum on there. So But all the other instruments, I did some of the keyboards, and then I had some guys in town do some of the keyboard parts. So it was a mismatch, but I basically did all the guitar work myself, most of the bass, programmed all the instruments, and then just had feature guests do some of the Rhodes, some Mellotrons. I have an amazing player named Matt Bradford, did lap steel on Horizon. That guy's a monster. If you see him on Instagram, Matt Bradford, really amazing lap steel guy.
Nice.
So wherever my talent ran out, I called in amazing players, but of course I'm a guitar player, so I retained that role to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I should have, the drums turned out pretty good, but in retrospect, I should have just did live drums. It would have saved me a million years on that, a million moments, and turned out probably even that much better. But it was fun.
Awesome.
It was fun creating it.
Now, outside of music, do you have any hobbies or interests?
Well, I was always a surfer. We live here, pretty close to Malibu, so definitely surfing. And my wife's a surfer.
Nice.
We have an 11-year-old daughter. She's getting into surfing, and she's also getting really good at guitar, by the way, which is awesome to see.
Cool.
And I love boxing. Not competitive boxing. I don't take hits in the head, but just the training is so fun, so challenging, and I'm amazed what I can do in an hour class. Or you would never. I don't know. I would figure I would be so injured by hitting a bag for an hour, but it's been really, really life changing and good for my health and clarity of mind, etc. So I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Now, where can the listeners go to learn more about you?
Well, I do have my website up, www.raisedbyclowns.com, and there is a bio there. Once I have some dates up, that will be the first place I'll be posting them. And Instagram at the moment is really the best place to see my activity. You did ask earlier about videos, and that was one of the things that I do plan to be to be enhancing hopefully soon, and that would be probably on TikTok and YouTube, really kind of getting the presence up there. So but the website is the core place to point you to any new development, so to speak, and follow artists on Spotify and any of the platforms, and that way I am releasing a song every 2 weeks, so you'll get the release radar, I think, if you follow me as an artist or whatever platform you're on. You'll get notified when the new drops come out, and they're coming fast and regular. So
nice.
I hope everyone likes them. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
Well, without sounding cliche, it's I just the neat thing about Raised by Clowns is that it can be inspiring in the sense that it's a one-man deal, in a sense that it's very modern in the fact that I did this all in my home studio.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the players I just found on Fiverr or other apps, that have musicians for hire. We did file sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a long period of life where I couldn't complete songs, and then I just kind of got on a roll. And so, without sounding cliche, it's like never give up. And, it's like I'm still trying to get better at everything I'm doing. But, it's like, I encourage people that we can do it with a full band, or we can do it in our bedrooms. And it's a luxury to have that technology today to be able to do that. And, the flip side is we also have to do the promotion ourselves. Mm-hmm. So, it's a double-edged sword, but at least we have the ability to get people to hear our music nowadays. And, you kind of have to have a sharing spirit about it, opposed to really trying to, get people to pay you 99 cents per song,
Right.
Just like enjoy it, love it. And I hope to see you somewhere, hope to cross paths with you, and we all get to sort of, enjoy the music for what it is, and improve our lives for it, and for whatever, improve our day for it, or our moment, or share it together, all those good things.
Right. Well, Thomas, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really had a great time talking to you about your music and your life and the things that are coming up in the future. I'm looking forward to hearing more great music from you.
Thank you so much, James. I really enjoyed it as well. And I'm going to keep writing and keep producing them. So thanks, for listening to them. Thanks so much for having me on. today. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to, keep listening to more of your shows and get to know you better. So I hope you have a great Sunday. Thanks for all your time.
You're welcome. And let's stay in touch. When you got something new out and you want to come back on the show again, just shoot me an email or a text message. You got my number now. I'd love to hear from you again, all right?
Okay, 100%. We will do that. Thank you so much. And let me know however I can help promote the show as well, because I really love to cross-promote and get involved any way I can.
Awesome. You have a great day and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, all right?
Okay, you too, James. Thanks again. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I woke long before the dawn, if I slept at all. Outside, the rain keeps falling, I'm waiting for your call. The sound of silence keeps me awake. All of this time, thought you were fine, but you were breaking down. And all of the while, we stood by you and watched you breaking down. When you live outside the frame, it hurts my heart. Sister, what you're running on is tearing you apart. The sound of sirens keeps me awake. All of this time, thought you were fine, but you were breaking down. And all of the while, we stood by you and watched you breaking down. All of the while, we stood by. You were just trying.
Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Howell Productions. All rights reserved. For information regarding distribution or adding this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show. The Record Machine Show.